Hello there, my name is Krista. I'm the author of The Radical Angel, A True Story. Please find links to my ebook, my social media sites, and also a site to find your personal birth chart in full in the description box. You can contact me for personal readings through social media until my website goes live the end of June. Please subscribe for weekly readings and for videos about other subjects that may appeal to you. This reading is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. I'll be doing a 3-card reading for each deck. There'll be a central issue, 2 clarifiers on either side, and a general energy for the bottom of the deck card. And then at the end of these 2 rows, I'll be drawing 1 card from the Angel of the Oracle for any additional information for you, Gemini. So I wish for Gemini all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love and light and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Gaia to bless this reading. So I am using the Medicine Totem Animal cards, the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and again the Angel Oracle at the end. So, what are the general messages for my Gemini friends for April 8th to April 14th? We're just looking for general messages. I encourage all my viewers to take what resonates with them, what you're responding to. It could be words I'm saying, using from anything that I'm looking up that the authors used, or how I'm interpreting them, to what is actually drawn as illustrations on the card. So if something appeals to you or jumps out to you that I'm not mentioning or I'm not pointing out, please follow your intuition. However, I will do my very best to interpret these cards for you as intended by Spirit. So what are general messages for Gemini for the week of April 8th through the 14th? We're just looking for a central card for the sign of Gemini. I want to remind you also that Taurus is in retrograde in Mercury, so you can Google that to find out how that's affecting your sign. And I believe it comes out of retrograde on May 3rd. So we have as a central issue the hawk, and a clarifier to the right is turkey. And we're just looking for one more clarifier to the hawk. I'm not shocked to see the hawk there as your central card, by the way, because it is messenger. And Gemini is the sign of the messenger. So we have a central issue hawk, turkey, and badger are their clarifiers. And at the bottom of the deck we have raven. So I also interpret numerology, so raven is the card of magic. Magic is something that you can maneuver or manipulate. It's not static, which means the overall energy to what's going to be interpreted here is really up to you to maneuver. It doesn't have to stay static. It's not something that has to happen, but if no action is taken, or if you refuse to be willing to accept something, it could find itself interpreted by somebody else. So somebody else might have the power to manifest or manipulate something. So it's in your best interest to manipulate it for yourself. The central card is hawk. It's 2, and the card to the right is numerology is 4, and the card to the left is numerology is 11. 4 is a foundational card. 11 is something that is of a spiritual bent as well, but it's static. It's not something that, this is for any sign, this is just general for the number 11, but it's something that's esoteric but static. So something as big as God, for example, not the idea of God, but something as big as that. So God could even mean unknown, something as big as the unknown. So it's something that we have to admit that we have no power over, that just is. So again, that's the number, the numerology of it. So in essence, the numerology is really shifting here. 2 is about couples or partnerships, stability, overall given energy. You could even call this natural law, the number 11. And then number 7 is magic. So a lot of energy happening here. Again, not surprised. Gemini is a mutable sign. It's also an air sign. So not shocked to see a lot of energy swirling around your cards. So let's look at Hawk in a little bit of depth for a moment. Another beautiful card. I did choose all of these decks for the artwork and how they feel to use. The language, the stories that come with them, and the artwork. So Hawk is actually a very beautiful card. And its main word is messenger. So let's look at some other main words within the write-up that the authors used. This card is testing your ability to observe nuance. Okay, so let's admit, nuance really isn't a strong point. You really need things laid out for you really clear. You don't want to have, you're not a guesser unless you have other cards, other signs in your chart that are water signs very close to your sun, moon, or rising in Gemini. You need things really blunt. You're not going to look for nuance. And this card is saying, give it a go. Take the time to trust in yourself that you have the ability to observe nuance. In fact, it might even be to your benefit to observe nuance or to take some even delight or to communicate in nuance. Not subterfuge, not in the way to, bring something down, but in this sense to get a point across, like a wink or a nudge, instead of do this or do that. Maybe even being a bit more playful. Its other major message is about responsibility. And it's asking you to see things from above, not really up close. So in other words, I would say stop analyzing something. Because there's so much energy going on here, I'm going to leave it up to you to what portion of your life this is applying to: business, health, relationships, attitude growth, whatever it is. I would say look at it at a distance rather than really up close and picking it apart. And it will work to your advantage. It's asking you to look at signs and symbols, even music, or your favorite song, or your favorite color, and looking at the nuance of that. What does that mean to you when you think of your favorite color, for example? How does that make you feel? And then maybe go a little bit deeper. Why? Why does it make you feel that way? Is it just simply because it's the way it acts for everybody, or does it have a special meaning to you? So this is about messages in your life, in your partnerships, or again, with the 2 and you being a Gemini, this could be something really unique to you in your own life, in your own mind. No one else has to be involved. So notice things, become the observer, and look for nuance and not just the obvious. That is your central issue here. We're looking at the clarifier to the right is Turkey. This is a foundational card. 3 in 1's numerology is 4. And I believe Turkey is giveaway. So I'm going to look up its main words just to make sure I have that correct. And I don't know if you've ever met a turkey. I have. Just as an adult, not as a child. But turkeys are magnificent birds. They don't get the credit they deserve. And I just noticed you have 3 birds in the top rows here. So this is a lot. This, again, not really surprised you're Gemini, but communication, communication, communication. Big time. This is the way others communicate with you or you with others. Or because of the number 2 here and being able to look at nuance with yourself. How are you communicating with yourself? So let's look at Turkey's major messages as giveaway. It is the medicine of saints and mystics. Very virtuous. You act and react on behalf of others. It is just knowing what is right to do and doing it. It also could be a gift. And again, like I mentioned, it could be spiritual, material, or even an intellectual gift. So being aware of what you can provide for yourself, or even the nuanced messages or symbols around you that you have missed because you're too into something, or you're looking at something too closely, like a little mouse, where Hawk is saying, come back a little bit, take a step back, be a little bit more objective, and you'll be able to find the gift faster, or it'll make itself more evident to you. This is not an insignificant gift, by the way. It will be special to you and to your mind frame over the next week. So the clarifier to the left of the central message card is the Badger. This is your number 11 card, which is static. So number 11 is static. This is happening whether anyone likes it or not. And the Badger's keyword is aggressiveness. And I think you might even be able to see him trying to, or her, break something open with her little teeth. So let's read on and see what Badger has to say. Automatically, I can see that this can be used for good or bad. You can be aggressive in pursuit of wellness or a cause, or you can be aggressive for personal pursuits and have it all crumble around you. So I hope it's for a larger cause. I think it is, because this is asking you to look deeper and for signs that are important to you, where you can benefit and you feel like you're someone who can help others without giving too much away of yourself. So the Badger, its keyword is aggressiveness. It's quick to anger and quicker to pounce. It's willing to fight for what it wants. It can be a negative energy. They are quick to act in a crisis and do not panic. So again, when I said that it could be used for the good, aggressiveness, this energy, Badger energy, is, say, a fantastic energy in a crisis center or in an emergency room or at the scene of an accident. Any crisis situation where things are all jumbled up and you're sort of like, where any other person would be like, I don't know what move to make next, or where to go, or even what to think about how to move ahead. No, Gemini, for the next week, you're going to be like, you know exactly what to do. In fact, this is ideal for you. This is how you've been acting and reacting for so long. But I think this is time to take a step back and saying, is this really working for me? I'm getting things done. Yep, no one can say I'm not getting it done. No one can say I didn't fix it. No one can say it fell apart. But at what cost? At what cost is this happening to you? Persistence can be considered a gift or an ally. But again, what are you being persistent about with the messages and the giveaway? Are you giving too much of yourself, or are you asking someone else to give too much to you? Are you being aggressive about it? Are you keeping the goal in mind and not the consequences? It's asking that you be aggressive, but don't cut others to ribbons on the way. Another easy way for me to interpret this card for many other readings, for example, is to say something as simple as, now is not the time to start arguments. They're going to be to get a rise out of people. And as my dad would say, they're going to cause more heat than light. So keep that in mind. Light is illumination. Heat is just to get people crazed up a little, to get them heated up, to get them inflamed even, to get people upset. So watch how you're using this type of energy. It doesn't have to be negative. It depends how it's used. And finally, the overall energy for that week's readings is Raven. The numerology expression there is 7, which is magic. And Raven's main word in the interpretation of the book is actually magic. So it's also associated with the moon, with things dark or unseen. So I'm going to call this a feminine or a misunderstood magic. And it's something that if you're not personally aware of, I feel because it's next to the badger, it can and will be misused, and it will backfire. So please just be aware not to incite or initiate aggressiveness for no good reason, quote unquote, whatever that means to you, no good reason. If you're in a crisis center, if you have an accident, if you have to take control of issues, absolutely do it, use it. But the gentle turkey to the right and the magic to the far left of the overall energy is saying to me very clearly right now, especially because the hawk is asking you to take a wider away look, an objective look at things. This is saying hold your cards, hold your tongue, hold your behavior even for the moment. Because you may see something in the next week that you can use to your benefit and not have to react with aggressiveness to get your own way, or to get what you think is appealing to you. So let's move on to the next deck here. We're going to draw 3 more cards, a central and 2 clarifiers. So we're just looking for general messages for Gemini for the week of April 8th to the 14th. General messages for Gemini. And a fork in the road is your central card. And blessed is the right clarifier. We're just looking for one more clarifier. For our Gemini friends. And there we are, happy, happy. At the bottom of the deck is the tribe. So let's take a look at these one by one. This is lovely, by the way. I'm really happy to see for Gemini. It's pretty typical for air signs that you're not going to get too collapsed in any one thing. Say earth signs, for example, can get really hooked or collapsed on things or attached to not necessarily just things, but to ideas as well. And I can see just from this overall thing that you have the ability and the intention of being able to even start over. Something's not working for you. You're the type of person, you know, you just crumple it all up in a big ball, throw it in the garbage, and start over with a big sigh, but you're willing to do that. So this is one of the beautiful things about a Gemini, being an air sign and being mutable. You're willing to try a lot of different things to get what you need or get what you want, or to give what you are willing to give and practice. So we're looking at the numbers 22, so 4, 13 is 4, and 26 is 8, or 2 times 6 is 12. So this could be a spiritual or foundational number. Happy, happy is something that can be found inside that will extend to the physical world. The fork in the road is very strictly foundational. This is something in your everyday practicing. You can touch it, see it, smell it, feel it world. And again, with the blessed is in the real world for you, and then the tribe being the 8 card, which is all foundational as well. So let's look at the central card, which is Fork in the Road. Again, the beauty of the artwork of these cards is just astounding. But you can see some animals there. They're all suited up to get going on a big walk through an enchanted forest, and there are varying signs about where to go. So let's look at some of the major language in the book that the artists and authors have mentioned regarding the card, and then we'll interpret it according to the rest of the reading. The fork in the road is a time to make a decision, considering the consequences as you prepare to act, owning up to your obligation to make a necessary choice. And again, it could be something as simple as not practicing this cut them to ribbons aggression, and instead looking for another magical way or an interesting or intriguing way to do it. Even practicing more gratitude and being more grateful, and using this ability to be aggressive and to solve whatever problem comes up only in an emergency and not every day. This is a lot of energy too, so you don't want to expel or waste energy. But the fork in the road is literally asking you to make a decision. So one of your central themes over the next week, Gemini, is making a decision. And I can tell from either side of this decision making whether this is a big deal to you: moving, health, travel, partnerships, relationships, money issues, whatever it is, because these are two solid cards, and then you have an overall message solid card. This is something in your physical world. This is not an idea. This is something that will change in your physical world. You have a fork in the road to meet. But happy on one side and blessed on the other side. I mean, are you kidding me? This is something that's going to be so easy for you once you are able to get a little bit past it, rise above it a little bit, stop using maybe old caustic behavior, allow for some magic, and it's like nothing is in your way. It's like this decision is going to turn out for the best for you. I can see this from both cards. So let's briefly read what the overall messages of the clarifier cards are. And we have blessed at 22. Where are we now? I think it's probably just as obvious as it sounds when it says blessed. Something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected. Grace that is an unforeseen gift from Spirit. Well, the book said it, I didn't, but you could very well be the recipient of something that is even unearned or unexpected. It doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you stole it from anyone. It just means that it's something that may fall in your lap because of this decision that you're willing to make in the physical world. And then your happy to the side literally has a lovely young woman poised on top of I believe that's an egg with a keyhole in it, with balloons everywhere and a hummingbird next to her, and she's just celebrating. So let's look at the keywords around happy, and you can see that whatever decision that you're about to make this week concerning any avenue of your life, that decision will bring you joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, and a feeling that all is well. So again, you're not going to be too bothered by things changing. I think Gemini has a great gift, all air signs, but Gemini in particular, being mutable, has a special gift for going with the flow. So you're not going to be too upset by anything that is occurring in your decision making. I think you're going to be quite happy with the decision that you make. And then the overall energy for that portion of the reading is the tribe. This is also so sweet. It actually has a little family of giraffes in a little hut, and birds and turtles hovering around, and little suitcases and so forth. And this card generally is about family. Whatever family means to you, it's about, it could even be a society if you're a member of a society. but it means that the people that you resonate with the most in the world, people that you share belief systems with and so forth. Something that can be considered as your tribe. So community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, and knowing your place in the world. So this is not to be overlooked. These are your allies right now, this tribe. And I would even turn to them, and if you're doing your objective mulling around and you're ready to take that leap and make that decision, you might even benefit from talking to people that you have those connections with, or that you share that community with. Or they might even offer information before you have a chance to ask for it, and it would behoove you to listen to them. So without further ado, let's ask for an additional message from the Angels, the Oracle cards, for the week of April 8th to the 14th. And there we are, spiritual growth. What a gorgeous card for my dear Gemini. Spiritual growth. Well, I think that goes without saying that whatever is happening to you on the physical plane is going to manifest itself within. It's going to take part and play a part in your inner workings, in the way that you see and envision and behave in the world, because it's an issue of spirituality. Not ideologies, thoughts, and decisions, but a spiritual makeup, which is really interesting because so much of this is based in the real physical world. You're making decisions, there's happy outcomes, you're doing objective views, looking at what you give away. Are you giving too much? Are you asking others to give away too much? Are you being aggressive in the wrong circumstances? Are you using this to your advantage? Are you cutting other people up? Is your magic whole? Is your magic fragmented? Are you in tune with this? So this is really talking to something that's so unique to you that only you could fathom. So whether or not you're applying these cards to other facets of your life, for the time being and just for fun, take the totality of the reading and apply it to a sense of spiritual growth. And you will be able to infer messages that these cards are bringing to your spiritual life, because this is a very important avenue for Geminis to consider. Geminis can be a little bit flippant and brush things off, and like they say, they like really in your face and really right now, and they don't like looking at nuance, but this is saying it might be time to give it a little bit more thought and to become aware of and even friends with maybe that community or inner tribe or connection is something that's going to help you grow spiritually. So take some chances, Gemini. Happy outlook on either side, and watch that you don't hurt somebody with your words. I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I look forward to seeing you next week for your next weekly reading. Take care, Gemini.